Hi everybody, welcome back to Mr. D TV. I'm Mr. D. This week's topic is documenting your classroom at the end of the year and making sure you capture as much as you can before the summer starts. There's two main reasons for this. The first one's very obvious. Nostalgia. You want to remember things. You remember the good and the bad, the ugly, everything that happened in your classroom this year. It's going to be very hard even next year, after you've had your new students for a little while, to remember names, to remember the way certain classes went, especially if you haven't been documenting things all along. I'm a big proponent of keeping track of things all along so that you can look back at it. But if you're having trouble, you might have trouble, for example, if you're a young teacher, remembering kids from a couple years back. Imagine how hard it's going to be to remember kids from 10 years back. That's what I'm talking about. And plus, there's just little things that you're going to miss if you don't document it in some way. We'll talk about how in a second. But I'm talking about your classroom setup, your students, your school itself, your colleagues. A lot of those things could change in the way they're set up or where you are in that building, or you might be in a new building. So you need to document. There's another reason for this, which is equally as important, if not more important, which is professional development. I think by having a good documentation, a good picture of what your classroom was like in previous years, you can look back and make your classroom better in subsequent years. You might look at your classroom setup and think, wow, why did I ever do that? That always caused problems. I'm going to set it up this way next year. Your seating arrangement might be better next year. But even if you want to keep most things the same, this way you don't have to really struggle to reinvent the wheel when you're going back to school in the fall. You know where things were. You have a picture of it that you can work from, and you'll make your life a little easier in that way also. You can also actually show your setup to colleagues and people you respect and want feedback from, and they can help suggest the way things could change. Even just seeing some of the kids might remind you of something you need to do differently, classroom management-wise or relationship-wise. You see a kid's face and you say, I did something wrong, or I did something really great and I need to continue it. Either way, you're making a good observation, a good reflection to make you a better teacher in the years after. Now, I think I might have alluded to this from what I said already, but how do you do this? Digital cameras or any kind of cameras are a good start, but I would even get some kind of digital camcorder like the flip camera that I love that I'm using right now to record this, and grab as many pictures as you can. I would even suggest giving it to the kids and have them just do a little time capsule of your classroom, because their perspective will also go back to the things I just talked about. It's a real simple thing. But these memories and these sights and sounds and smells that you're experiencing will very quickly dissipate if you don't take the time, just a little bit of the time, to document them now. One other thing, when I say documenting, and I'm not just talking about pictures and maybe even a journal or a video, but also saving things that are hung up on the wall. Posters that kids did, projects kids did as examples to carry on for next year, or special notes they wrote to you that you hung up, or things they drew, or pictures they gave you of themselves. Get all that stuff. It's for both reasons that I talked about. It's going to help you be a better teacher and a happier teacher in the long run.